All right, today we are diving into the seventh pillar of purposeful leadership, and it is persistence. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Owner Breakthrough. I'm your host, Pete Mohr, and it's the series designed to help you move from operator to owner in your business. And we all know that being a business owner and being in business is not always a smooth ride, right? You're going to hit some bumps along the way for sure, and some are going to be small. And others are going to feel like they're literal mountains in front of you. And your ability to stick through these challenges, big or small, really defines your success as a leader and defines the success of your business, quite frankly. And think about any successful entrepreneur that you know out there. And what do they all have in common? Well, you guessed it. It's generally persistence. They have faced obstacles, but they kept going. And there's a few big names out there that I thought of were sort of a relative stories here. And one is being Steve Jobs. And after getting kicked out of Apple, did he call it quits? No, he persisted. He created other companies. And then as they called him back to Apple, after realizing that they needed him there, he turned that back into a global powerhouse again. Or think of maybe Oprah Winfrey, who overcame hardship and had personal challenges as a youth growing up, all of the different things that she had to go through. If you dig into her story, she ended up becoming one of the most influential women, not only in North America, but truly in the world. And she persisted when it would have been easier to give up, right? But before we go further, here's a quick little exercise for you. And, I like my exercises. Take a minute to list down 3 to 5 of the biggest challenges that you're currently facing. Hit pause if you need to here, but the idea is it's very important to actually put them down onto paper. So hopefully you have them onto paper now and you've got them. Now, next to each one, put a potential solution down beside it. It might sound sort of simple or basic, but the activity gives you a framework for tackling future challenges. And sometimes just getting the stuff out of your head down onto paper helps to give you the clarity really that you need to move ahead. It seems simple, but I can tell you that it works. And the activity of manually scribing the problem and then the potential solution beside it can burn it into your subconscious. And I believe it's so much better to physically write it, whether you write it on a piece of paper, or whether you have an iPad or a remarkable tablet with a pencil. But the idea of literally scribing it down physically burns it into your memory and will help you work through that and come up with action steps. It's been my experience that if I don't get it out of my head, I'll revisit it literally 100 times in my head without taking any action as I'm driving around or as I'm walking around, whatever the case is, or just sitting on my chair or at the kitchen table. I may be thinking about these things, but it's not until I actually scribe those things down that the action steps start to happen. I'm sure you've had this happen along the way. A lot of time, so much time is wasted around the things that we've already thought about, right? And I like my little acronyms and things like that. And I came up with one for this episode here on persistence called CALM. The key to persistence is staying calm. And CALM stands for commitment, adaptability, learning, and means. And if we start off with commitment, staying committed to the vision, even when things get tough, is so important on the persistence side of things. Being adaptable, that A. Sometimes persistence means changing your approach. Staying committed, the C, doesn't always mean sticking to a failing strategy, right? We need to sometimes get in and make some changes. So adaptability. And then the L, learning. Mistakes happen. Learn from them and move on, because mistakes are actually some of the biggest learning pieces you'll have in your leadership journey as a business owner. That's part of persistence as well. And then we get to the M, which is the means. And if you've got limited resources, be creative. Make the most out of what you have. And sometimes it just takes another lens to understand that you do have what it takes, or you do know someone that has what it takes that can help you get through whatever challenges you're facing, right? There are definitely some false beliefs around persistence that I've found over the years as well. And one of the biggest ones, I think, is that stubbornness is not persistence. I'm going to say that again because there's a lot of stubbornness out there in business owners, and stubbornness is not persistence. Don't confuse the two, because stubbornness really is doing the same thing and expecting different results, much like some people will use that as the definition of insanity, right? And we don't want to be insane business owners, right? And secondly, one of the other things I've thought a little bit about is it's not just about hardship, right? Persistence isn't about enduring hardship for the sake of enduring hardship. It's about moving smartly through the challenges that you're facing, right? So here are a few practical steps to build your persistence capabilities as a leader. Number 1, set clear goals. Number 2, develop a plan. Number 3, build your support network. All of those we've talked about at length here in many of the previous episodes of the Business Owner Breakthrough. You can dig back into some of those episodes along the way too if you want to build and look deeper into any of those. If you're nodding along and see the value of persistence and you want to move from being an operator of your business to an owner of your business, and we should talk, head on over to speaktopete.com and book in an appointment with me. We'll spend a half an hour or so chatting about your business, chatting about some of the struggles that you're facing, and see if we're a right fit maybe to do a few appointments together. I'd love to help you map out your pathway to freedom. One of my jobs as a business coach really is to hold you accountable and ensure that you stay on track, right? If you're finding that your persistence capability maybe is a little bit lower than you'd like it to be, that third point of building a support network is vitally important. Whether you use a coach like me, really, or whether you use somebody else in your network that can help you through, it's important to have that, because as business owners, a lot of times we are left alone. And if there isn't somebody else there kind of helping us through some of these issues, it can be very lonely at the top of your organization, right? So sometimes the lack of progress really isn't because you're not trying this stuff and trying to get through, but maybe your effort is misplaced. Think about that one too. Sometimes the lack of progress really isn't because you're not trying, because you are trying, right? Sometimes your effort is just a little bit misplaced. So what can be done around this? Well, delegate, right? Maybe you're the bottleneck in some of these issues. Can someone else do it faster, maybe better, either on your team or outside of your team? If not, is it time for you to take your skills up? Maybe add new skills to overcome the hurdle, take a course, do some, read some books on it, look at some YouTube videos, whatever the case is, in order to crest some of the issues that you need to crest these days. And number 3 would be to invest in some resources. Sometimes you just have to spend money to make money, and not everything comes for free or just for giving your time, right? The next piece really is to think about the balance between persistence and letting go, because let's address the elephant in the room here. When do you persist and when do you let go? It's a tough question, and the answers really lie in aligned persistence, making sure that your efforts align with your goals and your vision. And if they don't, it's okay sometimes to let things go. And in fact, quite often we need to let certain things go. I'll use an example. At our shoe stores several years ago, we stopped selling kids' shoes because it just wasn't profitable. We were taking up too much space. We couldn't satisfy the need of our clients in that particular area. It was no longer a valuable and viable part of our business. And sometimes you just have to let things go, even if you've done them for a really long time. They may not be part of your future as you adapt in that calm methodology, as you adapt your business in order to push through some of these things, right? Don't just listen to this series of the 10 pillars of purposeful leadership here. You need to do your homework. Spend 15, 20 minutes after each episode and allow yourself to think about your future, the future of your business, and the future of your life, because you got into business to create a better life for yourself, and your business is creating a better life for your clients, right? It's all part and parcel of what you're doing every day. But if you're not feeling as though you're getting a better life as a business owner, then you've got a little bit of persistence here, right? Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Business Owner Breakthrough. If you liked what you heard, hit subscribe, tell your friends, other business owners about this little podcast, 10, 15-minute episodes that can help them go from operator to owner too. And then it'll help you look like the hero to them and share the wealth with your friends. Now go and make it a great day.